As I was driving through the woods, I stumbled upon a singing tree. Oh my goodness. Knowledge brings light, as singing tree lights your path. Come away with me on a journey of knowledge. Let me tell you a story from the green tales of Singing Tree.
This is Africa.
Hello, children all over the world. And hello to you too, dear Mundi.
Great to be here with you too, Grandma Wura. And thank you for the lemonade. It was really sunny outside. I almost thought I was in the desert. But the thought of missing one of the green tails gave me courage to keep heading down and knowing you'd spoil me too.
Oh, absolutely. Grandma Wura always do the rescue. Now, sit tight and I hope you feel comfortable in that chair before I take you on the journey of knowledge.
I'm so excited!
This is Africa.
Aziz, Zuri and Omari had been close friends since they were each 5 years old. They were always together and popularly known as the super trio of Mwanga. Mwanga was a beautiful village known for its lovely bright sunshine and very rich soil. Every successful agricultural company wanted to invest in Mwanga. Soon, one of the biggest agricultural companies in the whole world heard about Mwanga and came down to the village to create its African subsidiary. This global giant of a company had the village equipped with advanced tech appliances, motorbikes, generators, and other mechanics. These investments made life for the people of Mwanga much easier and faster. Everyone, including Zuri, Aziz, Omari, and every child in Mwanga, was very happy and thrilled about these new changes. Life was better with the introduction of these appliances. However, a few years down the line, Zuri, Aziz, and Omari noticed how the days had gotten much hotter than ever before. Or was this probably just their imagination? One day, on Zuri's way from school, she was sweating profusely. So, she decided to go over to a running stream close by to cool herself, when suddenly she spotted a green tree, which seemed to have suddenly sprung out of nowhere. She knew every tree on that path because she took it every day and would even count all of the trees as she passed. But never had she seen this particular tree before. She moved closer to it, and then she began to feel a swirl-like feeling as music filled the air. It felt like she was being rocked by the most beautiful voice and singing that she had ever heard. Then, this peculiar tree began to transform right before her eyes, and before she knew it, she was standing before a very beautiful green lady. It was Singing Tree. Zuri was in total amazement of Singing Tree. She stared, mouth agape. Then, Singing Tree pulled closer to Zuri and whispered in her ear.
Slowly, the sun turned into a hot maniac, till eventually it drinks up the earth.
After these words, Singing Tree disappeared. As Zuri hurried back to meet up with the others, she pondered on Singing Tree's words. When she met Aziz and Omari, she told them what had happened to her on her way to meet up with them. But they laughed uncontrollably, saying that if the sun would drink up the earth, then they would also have to start drinking too. And soon enough, Zuri tried to convince them about what she had heard and what she saw with her own eyes. But they laughed even harder, thinking Zuri was up to another prank of hers. Later that day, the village chief called for a meeting with all of the villagers. He told them of a very old prophecy that was prophesied many, many years ago about a horrible drought that would come upon them and drink up their waters.
Yes, it was prophesied that the sun would drink up our streams and our rivers, and I fear that at last that time has come.
Aziz and Omar looked at each other in shock, and then at Zuri, who was now standing far away from them because she was very upset with them for not taking her seriously and laughing at her, although it now seemed they were beginning to believe all she told them, and that the prophecy was the same as what Singing Tree had meant. Slowly, the sun is turned into a hot maniac, till eventually it drinks up the earth. Aziz and Omar were now very frightened, but Zuri wasn't, because she knew there was hope and a way to fix everything. Early the next morning, Zuri, with the permission of her father, called her dear Uncle Pam, who was an engineer in the city, on the phone, and told him everything about the drought and the present heat that had taken over Muwanga. From everything Zuri had said and described, Uncle Pam was convinced that if this went on for too long, the village was sure to experience a serious drought. He arrived at the village as soon as he could and had a meeting with the village chief. He told the chief how they could prevent this by replacing all the generators with solar panels and the motorcycles with green energy-friendly ones, as well as bicycles. He further explained that these mechanical devices were polluting the air and trapping excess heat in the atmosphere. The village chief was hesitant to go on with this suggestion because the village did not have enough money for all these replacements, and the only way they would be able to acquire mechanics in the first place was by the foreign agricultural company which had been operating in the village, supplying and sponsoring this initiative. Everyone was used to the generators that supplied them electricity to do a lot of things. Zuri's uncle then went ahead to inform the foreign company about the dangers and causes of the mechanics. He then proposed that they sponsored the replacements, but this was definitely not a welcome idea for this foreign agricultural company. So, Uncle Pam further explained to them that this heat could go on to cause a drought. And if that happened, it would affect them as a company the most, since they were a company that dealt with plants and crops. Eventually, they agreed and gladly sponsored all the replacements. With all the renovation being put in place, Zuri and her friends helped around the village for the next few months until the project was finally completed. As time went on, the air seemingly felt cool once again, and the water felt refreshing as it used to. Zuri's uncle thanked her for calling him immediately and told her that if he hadn't gotten there sooner, it could have gotten worse. He then went back to the city and visited regularly to teach in the village schools more about greenhouse gases. The end.
This is Africa.
In today's Green Tale, we learned that all the cool motorbikes and generators we use actually pollute the air, which results in greenhouse gases. It's just a fancy way of saying that the world starts to sweat. And if the world is sweating, then you're probably fainting. But even though we love using our cool motorbikes, let's try to reduce it a bit for the good of the environment. And who says going around in a bicycle isn't as cool? I'll see you in the next Green Tale. Bye-bye!
This is Africa.
This podcast series is supported by Africa No Filter in partnership with MasterCard Foundation.
Listen to the earth's cry to protect our motherland. So come with me on the journey far and wide to find the truth and set it free. With memories, we'll light the way.